Well, currently bafethu umjidrapana coach Manqoba Mngqithi is a free agent. He signed, I can see, probably a short-term deal with Golden Arrows, after he was sacked by Mamelodi Sundowns, which it was quite interesting, to see. And a lot of people felt like it was honestly like a biggest problem ever that Mamelodi Sundowns ever did. But then he signed with the Golden Arrows and he managed to, try and put them to position number 6 last season. They finished with 41 points. And yeah, Kuma Cup competitions, they were semi-finalists. So definitely they pushed a lot. Unfortunately, it just did not happen the way probably they thought it would happen. But other than that, I still have questions on why they are letting go of Coach Manqoba Mngqithi. But then recently or earlier on, we did have, talks of Kaizer Chiefs being interested in signing Coach Manqoba Mngqithi, while the agent, which is Mike Markups, did say that there's no official offer from Kaizer Chiefs that suggested that they want to sign him. But now, here's the twist, guys. What if njengoba ngikhuluma nani kanjena, coach Fernando Da Cruz, because he is someone, because this, I feel like this makes a lot of sense to me as I am looking at the situation. Coach Fernando Da Cruz, he's not very familiar with South African football, and he doesn't have someone from South Africa. Hence, we did hear tour. He's going to be working with South African, probably coaches, but with technical stuff. So okay, he does want South Africans. Maybe we or a club. I honestly do not know. But one thing is for sure, he will be working with them. So what if between the 2 to 3 people that will be working alongside him, one of them is Coach Manqoba Mngqithi? Because for me, one thing I do know is that Dylan Shepherd is supposed to be the part of the technical team as Obanjin, manager or coach Fernando Da Cruz. But then, what if, like, I don't know, I don't think it is the case. I'm just, speculating. What if Coach Manqoba Mngqithi works alongside or Coach Fernando Da Cruz as a technical member or something, anything, so that he can be able to give advice. The same thing that was being done by Coach Cedric Kazi to the Burundi Burundi something team. What if we do something like that? So it's okay. As much as Fernando Da Cruz is not familiar with South African football, because honestly speaking, we are starting afresh. We have spoken today. Sikhulumile. We've been exposing everything that has been happening behind closed doors of Naturena. Khalil Ben Youssef was not shy to talk about it. So instead of starting afresh and doing all those things, Gabosha, how about we take Umanqoba, because he's someone who is familiar. Yes, he's not familiar with our style of play. He's not familiar with Naturena as a whole. It will be something new to him also. But then, if he can work alongside Coach Fernando Da Cruz, I think that would be quite nice, But I do know some of you would say we prefer Dylan Shepherd, because the Shepherd is someone that is familiar with the club and he understands, players a lot more better because he's been with us for the longest time. I do get it, but also he can be an assistant, second assistant or whatever. I don't know. But then 2 to 3. Ngiyazama nje ukuyihlanganisa. I'm not sure. It's just my speculation. And also, Coach Manqoba Mngqithi has a lot of experience working as an assistant coach. And honestly speaking, he's a good coach. We have to be honest about that. Coach Manqoba Mngqithi is a good coach. And the way initially, as I've said, initially Kaizer Chiefs did inquire about his services. Yes, last he did turn down the offer, but then now there's nothing that can stop him from joining the club and trying to do something great for Kaizer Chiefs. Because also we have to think about the fact that the players are a lot more familiar with, South African coaches. Ngapha the language, even though Fernando Da Cruz, I believe he can speak English naye. At least it's a lot better than with Unabi, because the translation and the process, it was just a lot, to process and everything. But now things would be a lot more easier. And as I've mentioned, Coach Manqoba Mngqithi has worked alongside coaches like Coach Pito. I think he worked alongside Steve Kompela. He worked alongside coach like Urulana Mokoena. So definitely, I think it might be a great idea, but also I might be mistaken since it's a feeling a span. Understand? Because I did mention that in football it's all about taking risk. You take a risk, but then obviously now you have to calculate a risk. You don't just take a risk, you take calculated risk, and then okay, with this one, will it be able to work? Because I like the example that was made by coach Khalid Ben Yusuf. He said, obviously, during the interview and stuff, he did say that you look at the club like Sundowns, they had a problem with scoring. I think it's because Baile Angela or Lucas Ribeiro, they honestly did not have a problem when it comes to scoring, but they felt like they needed someone, and then they decided to take out Timali and sign Mngqithi Lapana. Who's this guy? Leon. But though I do believe Leon is playing for second division, yangale, I think Brazil, if I'm not mistaken, the second division yangale is way ahead than second division from this side. So it makes sense why they went there. Just like us, for example, let's say we are looking at a player, but then we go to the second division, for example, maybe FC Barcelona, Real Madrid, or PSG in general, but then we go to a league swap and then we sign on the second division. It's not going to be bad. It's not going to be bad because we know they are playing for tough leagues, tough opponents, tough everything. So it makes sense. Same as Lucas Ribeiro, he was playing for a second division, if I'm not mistaken. So that's why he was not even considered from that side. He was not considered as one of the best because there were other players who were the best, compared to him. But then when he got here, he shined so well that we started to think, okay, I know Shruti Abachita right side, they're doing incredibly well, which I believe they are. So even now I'm thinking about it and I'm like, it does make sense. It wouldn't be bad for us to say we bring him in and then some and then also it will depend on the other things, because remember we do not have the strength and conditioning coach. Muzi, I believe Muzi is a strength and conditioning coach for the ladies team. But right now I don't know anything, guys. We are still waiting, anticipating but yeah, so far, yeah, and I feel like it doesn't change anything whether you speak now or you don't speak at all. Later, nothing changes. It's gonna remain. If you have made a decision, you have made a decision. But let's wait and see, guys. Maybe because today it's the 17th, tomorrow maybe 18. I don't even think they will announce because tomorrow Bafana is playing. So I 19 Bafit. I don't know. Let's see in 19 what is going to happen.